So I just want to make a quick little help video to setting up your Blackboard Collaborate. I think Blackboard Collaborate will be the easiest to use, and that way you can get that attendance information, especially for the larger recitations that have 70 students. I don't expect you to spend the time to do roll call for 70 students. That's really a waste of the hour that we have. So I'm going to open up M002. The first thing you'll see is all these tabs to the side. We don't need all of those. And so, for example, the discussion tab, we can delete that. We're going to use Blackboard. We're going to use Top Hat to do that. So I want to delete that menu item. Assignments as well, we can delete that menu item. I don't plan on using that. We might use the content, you can use the information, you'll certainly be using the announcements. The announcements is where you should be making your weekly, every Sunday night. Here's my email to the class, this is what we have going on this week, this is when things are due. But for everyone else that hasn't done this, we want to go to Tool Link, and I want to go to Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, and we can call this the recitation room. Right, and I want to make that available to users. I want students to be able to find that. And now to schedule your recitations for the semester, open that room up. That takes me to Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. Right now, the course is unlocked. That's good. You do not want to lock this because that prevents students from finding it. And the next thing we want to do is create sessions. So this is M002. So I want to call this my recitation for M002, and this recitation, it meets every Tuesday. So let's see, Tuesday, the calendar view would be a little bit easier to figure out. So that would be Tuesday the 25th is when it's going to start, and it starts at 11:30. Excuse me, it starts at 3:30. So I'm going to set it up to 3:15, and that means you can open up this room a little bit early. So 3:15 p.m. and it runs until 4, we'll say 4:25. We'll give you 4:35 just to give you some extra time in case there are questions. So we want to repeat this session. This session is going to repeat weekly, every week, and we want to delete it after basically the end of the semester. So November, we can go to December, I guess, that would be fine. December 9th, somewhere out there in the future. It gets us at least beyond November. So create that. And there's a few other things we can take a look at. So in the settings, right, things you might want to do. You definitely want to allow them to share their audio, share their video if they want to talk and chat with you. What I would eliminate is drawing on the whiteboard, because that gives them automatic ability to draw on the whiteboard. You don't want them doing that in some cases, depending on their maturity. And here's the attendance filter. So this is where I think Blackboard Collaborate will be better for you guys to use than Zoom. We have no way of doing this in Zoom. So let's say, I want to... So number one, we have to share it with the LMS, which is Blackboard. Let's say they're late after 5 minutes, and yeah, we'll call them absent after 15 minutes, because by that point, recitation has started, the problem set has started. So, and you can share that information with them. Say, if you're not here in the first 5 minutes, right, we're going to consider you late. If you're not here in the first 15 minutes, especially considering this is online, all they have to do is log in. We're going to consider them absent. Granted, there could be issues where people have lost internet and things like that, but that should be communicated with you at some point. And then required time in the session, I think 50% is pretty low barrier, right? We could say, I require you to be here 75% of the time. So that's the preferred setting I'd like everyone to use for all this information for their Blackboard Collaborate, and then just create. And now that session is created, I want to save that session. And now when we go over here, right, here are all the sessions, all the entire semesters of sessions. Once a session is completed, you go over here to the tab and it'll say recordings. And obviously we haven't done anything yet, but this is where the recordings will be found once that recitation is complete. One thing you might want to consider is when you do your little introductory spiel and you go over the PowerPoint slides from the previous week, record that. And then when you send them into group work, stop the recording. Let them work on group work, because there's really no sense in recording all that group work and you bouncing between the different breakout rooms. Once you come back together and you go over that problem set, then resume recordings. And what that will do is it'll make two separate recordings from recitation. One will be the introduction and one will be reviewing that problem set material. So that'll be a little bit nicer for students when they want to go back and they want to review. Maybe they just want to watch the first 15 minutes and watch the PowerPoint slide review. Maybe they want to watch the last half an hour of going through that problem set. So please, please, please try to do that and try to remember. I know I've done it myself where I've forgotten to stop it or I've forgotten to resume it. So try to do that. Your first few minutes, record all of that, stop the recording during the problem session, and then when you come back together, resume the recording to create two separate videos. So please set up all your recitations accordingly. So I've got M002 set up. There are a few more recitations, right? So I helped someone out, but please set up all three of your recitations that way. And then again, the announcements tab, please plan on using that. And then the information tab, I will send out a syllabus later today for recitation where you can post that there as well.